Hey, this is Pete.
Sup?
I'm Kenshin1913, and this is a new angle.
Boom.
And this is another Game of Thrones review.
Yeah.
Season 3, Episode 3.
That's 3, motherfuckers.
Walk of Punishment.
Yeah.
So let's start it off. We start off on a great scene, alright?
Great scene.
Great scene. Dead guy.
Dead guy.
Holster Tully. He's dead.
Yeah.
Just like John Aaron, like I told you.
He's on a boat getting himself a fucking Viking funeral.
They send him off the river, and this guy, who is Edmure Tully, played by Tobias Tobias Menzies, right? And he plays Edmure Tully. He is the brother of Catelyn, okay?
Look at that. She's got a bro.
And he is shooting arrows to try to light...
Lit arrows, yeah.
Lit arrows to try to put, light
the
his...
floating funeral pyre.
Yeah, light his dad on fire, so they can rest in peace or whatever.
So
he misses.
In the Riverlands.
He misses once. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. So then this other guy comes by and pushes him out of the way.
Older.
And takes the goddamn arrow. Looks at the flag with the wind, shoots it, gives it right back to Edmure, and walks away. And then
one and done.
Yeah, one and done. And we
find just the swagger that guy had.
Yeah.
Just boom, pulls it, throws the bow at him like that's how you fucking do shit,
yeah.
Son.
That shows a lot of stuff happening without saying any words. So we go into Riverrun, which is where we're at right now. It's the home of the Tullys.
And you see the same two guys.
Guys
talking with Rob.
Yeah, and
King Rob.
Yeah, and Edmure Tully is Rob's uncle, right?
Yeah, and he kind of blew it.
And he kind of blows it. He talks about his blunders as if they're victories. What ended up happening was they tried to lure the mountain into a certain area, and then they were going to surround him and kill him.
Yeah, and Edmure ended up just kind of scaring him off.
Yeah, he kind of
which defeats the purpose because they could have done exactly that and then gotten the mountain.
Yeah.
As opposed to holding all the same land and not having the mountain.
Yeah. It kind of sucked. So Edmure kind of screws up. And here's where we meet that guy who shot the arrow. His name is Brendan Blackfish Tully.
Yeah.
And he's played by Clive Russell.
Yeah, he is Catelyn's uncle.
Yeah, he is Holster.
And he was a fun uncle, I bet.
Yeah,
like, he gave her a sip of wine and, maybe like her first fucking joint.
If they have joints back then, but sure, I can see.
He must smoke something.
They probably do. I
mean, they have to.
Opium or whatever. But yeah, so he kind of blames them for doing shit. And you meet the Tullys for the first time, which is kind of cool. A nice way to do it. You got 2 scenes back to back, and end up being very nice. And you talk about poor Edmure and his stupid blunders. I mean, you kind of feel. I feel sorry for him. I don't know, maybe because I'm an idiot.
He was He was trying to do something good, but he didn't see the forest for the trees.
Yeah. I can see that. Okay. So we head over to King's Landing, where we have a meeting of the new small council. And the way that Tywin set it up is he's sitting on one end.
He's sitting at the head of a table.
He's sitting at the head of the table.
And he set up 5 chairs for the 5 guests.
Mm-hmm. And
all on one side of the table, though.
Yes.
He didn't just set a chair and then 2 and 2.
Well, we all know that Tywin is the power of the...
It is, but I enjoyed the way he...
And those 3 came in, and he's like, all right, where are you guys going to sit? And you saw a little...
Well, he didn't say a word.
No, he didn't say a word.
This was a test by Tywin.
Yeah. To see who wants to be closest to power. His power.
And to see who can think outside the box. Which doesn't end up happening until his kids come in.
Yeah. Well, Littlefinger goes running over to the... sits closest to Tywin.
Like a sleeping dog almost.
Yeah, and then Varys is kind of like, whatever. He can have his power. I'll sit in the middle. And then Pycelle, he's just kind of glad to be there. Mm-hmm. He just sits wherever he can get a seat. And then Cersei comes in. And this is all without words, by the way. Once again, without words. Great job. Once again, and then Cersei comes in. She just takes a chair.
She grabs a chair and just sits next to him.
Puts it on the other side. And Tywin's like, not bad. And then Tyrion comes in. And he takes a chair. And he wants to be...
Obnoxious,
but also he's not afraid of his dad. Right? In the essence that...
in certain ways, but not
sort of stand up for himself. And he takes the chair and he just drags it
loudly
as far away from Tywin as possible, and then sits.
But in doing that, he's as far away from Tywin, but he also gets a look in the eye.
Yeah, and he's like eye to eye with him, which is pretty cool. And so they have a meeting, and he's just kind of concerned. Tywin's kind of concerned about Jaime.
And how the battles are going.
Yeah, and then we find out that that Littlefinger is going to go to the Eyrie.
Yeah, give it a mission. He's trying to bring the veil into the fold.
Yeah, and try to have the veil kind of on the end of Tywin.
Which for the first time I feel bad for Littlefinger because he's got to talk to that creepy fucking
that crazy ass.
Lysa Tully. She's fucking weird.
Yeah, she's
breastfeeding that kid. He's like 8. Oh.
Yeah, crazy. And since he's leaving,
they need a new treasurer.
They need a new master of the coin. And so they promote Tyrion, and Tyrion's like, "Whoa, I can't do this. I spent money my entire life. I've been a man of great wealth. I don't know how to save money. What the fuck?" And then Cersei's like, "Well, you'll figure it out." And then Pycelle even puts in a word. He's like, "Yeah, you will."
Yeah.
It's like everyone that he's wrong is like just
kind of gloating.
Like, take that. And
from hand to treasurer, very quickly.
So then we go to Jaime and Brienne, and they're talking. They're BS. They're captured, of course.
Yeah, so they're tied up on horses,
and they're just kind of BSing. Well, not really BSing, but God, what I keep calling Tyrion. Brienne and Jaime, they're kind of mincing words.
They're bickering.
Yeah, bickering is the word. Thank you. Arguing and whatnot. Yeah. And he's just like when I was better, I would have been able to beat you big time. And she's like, "Well, you lost to a woman." And he's like, "Well, I didn't really lose." It's like she was like, "I was handily beating you."
I was gonna beat you.
So then they finally get into the topic that Jaime's like, "They're gonna rape you, right?" And she's like, "Well,
she's in for a raping."
Yeah, and she's like, "No, well, I'm gonna put up a fight." He's like, "Don't, I'll just save you."
He's trying to convince her to stay alive.
Yeah.
Which is weird because you kind of think Jaime doesn't give two fucks about it.
Yeah,
usually,
and he's kind of being a little nicer, which is interesting.
As nice as you can be in those circumstances.
Yeah, which is kind of interesting.
Because it's usually not very nice at a gang rape, but I guess if you were getting gang raped, and one guy was like, "Hey, you want to Mr. Pim?" You'd be like, "Oh, well, this is the." Yeah,
he's the guy. Maybe he can help me get the hell out of here. You know what I mean?
During the gang rape.
Yeah. So we have Arya, and she's kind of talking with the Hound. We go to that scene. They just found the Hound.
They're still being held by the Brotherhood Without Banners.
Yeah, and she's talking with the Hound. And she's like, "You know where you were? You know what happened last time you were?" And he's like, "It looks like any other."
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, he's like, "Whatever, I don't."
She's
care.
obviously referring to when he killed her friend Micah.
Yeah, and then
this is also our goodbye to Hot Pie.
Yeah, this is
assuming he doesn't come back. He might.
Yeah, and so
I never assume we're done with anybody until I see their dead body.
Yeah.
If somebody's dead, I don't believe it. If somebody says goodbye, I'm like, they might come back.
Yeah, and even then, when they're dead, you never know. You never know.
Well, yeah, because he could be in a White Walker. Yeah, you're right. He could be a zombie.
Fucking
goddamn zombie.
So Thoros is gonna take Arya and gonna take Gendry.
Well, Gendry's almost kind of working for him now.
Yeah, he's like, if I had a proper forge, I could fix this. So yeah, this is the final scene with Hot Pie. Hot Pie kind of gives Arya a piece of bread that looks like a wolf.
It sort of looks like a bear.
Yeah, it looks like a four-legged thing.
It looks more like a bear.
Yeah, it looks like
the tail's not very long or skinny, and the head is kind of like a blob. But it's a thought that counts. Hot Pie, good job. Yeah. So then Arya's leaving, and one of my favorite lines. It's just a little touching. She turns around, and Hot Pie is just kind of walking by. She's like, "Hot Pie, it's really good," and she's eating the bread. She's munching on the bread.
Yeah, it was nice. It was a nice little scene. So that might be the last time we see that little fat boy.
It might.
So then we have we go back to Riverrun where Caitlyn's talking with the Blackfish.
Again, this is more like Tully.
Kind of Tully bonding.
Backstory bonding.
Yeah. Kind of saying why he used the Blackfish. He basically was
essentially the black sheep.
Yeah, the family and
the sigils of fish, so they call him Blackfish.
Yeah,
because it's a really good joke.
Yeah, and
he actually referenced that it's a bad joke.
Yeah, and they don't even know why he's called that, but he's called that for so long he's not gonna bother.
Yeah,
but they just kind of talk about did he make peace with his bro, this, that, and the other. And then Rob's wife is talking to the Lancers for some reason. I'm not exactly sure.
It's one of the few scenes that I don't see that it had a point.
No, I don't know why. I think it had a point. Maybe it had a point in the fact that I don't even know that they're kids and they're like, "Oh, is he really turned into a wolf?" And she's like, "Yeah, whatever. Yeah, he turns into a wolf."
Yeah, because she just kind of teases them. Yeah, but she also fixes any wounds I got.
Yeah. Because they captured.
It was a weird scene that I don't understand.
Yeah, they captured these Lannisters. It doesn't really matter. Anyway,
Sam Lannisters though, nobody good.
Yeah, little piss ants. Anyway, so we go to Mance and Jon, and they find these dead horses all in this weird symbol.
Weird concentric circle.
Yeah, it was fucking weird. And he's like, they're the artists. And apparently,
the others,
White Walkers or the others, they really like to display body parts all around, which is kind of nice. It's like murder, big time murderer. I like a little
flair.
Yeah, I like a little art.
Yeah. I'm gonna fancy this up.
Yeah, we're gonna make this real nice.
Yeah.
And so, finally, Mance is like, you know what? He's talking about like, you know what? If Mormont, if he came out here, he made a big mistake.
Oh yeah.
If he's alive or dead, no one's back at fucking Castle Black. So now this is the time to take it over.
Boom! We're going for it.
So he tells Tormund Giantsbane, you and Orell and Jon and Ygritte
and a couple other people.
You're gonna go going over that wall. Over that wall. You climb the fucking wall.
That's a big fuck wall.
Big goddamn wall. And then
I believe they say it's about 700 feet high.
Yeah,
that's fucked up.
It's fucking large.
You're gonna climb that wall and then hit the Night's Watch from behind.
Think of it as like you have to climb like 3 football fields, right?
Is that what 700 feet would be 2 football fields?
Holy God, that's God, holy God. Anyways, it's crazy,
but it's a good plan. If they get over it, to hit them from behind, because as Matt even says, the wall is great.
Yeah, and no one's guarding Castle Black. I mean, Mormont took all the best fighters with him.
Yeah.
So we head over to.
It shows his strategy.
Yeah, he's a smart guy. He's thinking, and plus since he was part of the Night's Watch before, I mean, he kind of knows a little bit.
He does.
Yeah, and he does mention how. I don't know if we mentioned this, but he does mention how he's part wildling, so, you know what I mean?
Right.
Part wildling, part Night's Watch, you know. Kind of the best of both worlds, sort of.
This was a good scene to me.
What, the next one?
No, this one.
Yeah.
This one with the wildlings. In that it showed how the wildlings kind of get along together.
Mm-hmm.
Even better than it seems sometimes people in Westeros who have these weird... sticks up their ass about certain things. We just had the hot pie goodbye. And Hot Pie gets one of these from Gendry and nothing from Arya.
Yeah.
Whereas the other two guys are saying goodbye,
and they're
not even forever. And they fucking hug it out like bros, they like each other, they love each other.
Yeah.
But down south it would be like that's inappropriate. It's not how all the ladies do things.
Yeah, it kind of shows how, like you were saying, they're like the freedom that they have.
Yes, to do little things like that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I never noticed that until you were telling me about it.
Yeah,
I really like that aspect.
Yeah,
I thought that was.
And then Mance Rayder gets a great line too.
Yeah.
Walking towards the camera away from the group when he says, "I'm gonna light the biggest bloody fire the wall's ever seen."
Yeah,
that was pretty great.
Yeah, because he's talking about
ever seen. So.
Yeah, how will Orell asks him, how will we know? What will be the
signal?
What will the signal be? And he's gonna be, the goddamn fire so fucking big.
It was good. It was delivered well.
It was a good line. It was a good line. And so we head over to the Night's Watch, who make it back to Craster's Keep, so they're almost halfway home.
There you go.
And Craster's kind of
his usual creepy self.
Yeah, kind of reluctant to let him in. He lets him in. He's joking.
But he does.
He's joking with Sam, telling him how, hey, why don't you fucking eat him? You'll be able to eat fucking forever. And so Sam kind of feels, and he leaves.
And there's a lady done birthing in the background.
Yeah, and you hear the birthing all around. And Craster's kind of telling the guys, because the guy's eyes are wandering, unlike last time when they were like, duty. Right now they're kind of like broken. They're like broken guys.
They're torn down. They've seen some shit now.
Yeah, and so it's like they're kind of looking around, and Craster's like, you keep your goddamn eyes off my ladies. And so Sam goes and sees Gilly, if you remember her from last season.
That's the one giving birth.
She's giving birth, and she gives birth to a beautiful baby boy.
Which is not good news if you're one of Craster's
boys. Which is not good news, because Craster likes to give boys away to the White Walkers or the others or whatever.
And it's fucked up.
So that's it with that, and we head back to Theon, where the boy helps Theon escape, and he tells him to ride east until the sun comes up, blah, blah, blah.
He gives him a white horse.
Yeah. Oh, I never noticed.
He gives him a white horse.
I never noticed that.
That's not like camouflage in the woods.
No, it's not. Right? But he gives him a white horse, and he goes, get out of here. And Theon does it. And we don't see what happens, because we go to Melisandre, who, the lady in red, lady in red. All right, and she's leaving.
She's bailing.
She's leaving, and Stan's like, please don't go.
Yeah, he's got a bit of a hard-on slash.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm going to do without you.
Yeah, he's like, make me more.
How will I live without you? Calm down. He's kind of upset.
Yeah, and he's like, He's like, I want you to let's make more of those shadow babies.
Let's make more demon shadows.
Yeah.
Right?
And she's like, no, you can't do that because you're weak right now.
Because you're gonna die, essentially.
And she's like, maybe if you had more sacrifices, people with your blood. And he's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And then she kind of leaves.
Yeah. So she's got some kind of plan she's hatching.
Yeah, she's got a plan.
I'm assuming we'll figure out what that is.
So Dany, we go back to Astapor with Daenerys, and she's helping. She's walking along the pier where there's slaves being crucified because they're in the walk of shame or walk of punishment. And they're gonna die basically. And she kind of wants to help them, and she goes to give them water.
She's not a fan of suffering.
No, she's not. She's very ambitious, but she's not a fan of suffering because she's talking. They're talking along the way. She's got her 2 advisors, which I thought was a pretty good scene, where they're talking about innocence. And Mormont's like, have you ever been how many wars have you been in, Selmy? And Selmy's like, a bunch. He's like, have you ever been in a war where innocents haven't been killed by the thousands?
Yeah.
And he's just like, mm-mm.
Yeah.
So he's like, this is why we need slaves, because the slave soldiers won't rape and kill and put castles to the ground unless you tell them to do it.
Right.
And then...
So he's saying it's like a lesser of 2 evils.
Yeah.
It's like, they're still going to kill everybody, but they're only going to kill who you say to kill.
Yeah.
And they're not going to give in to the whole... And, like you said, the raping of...
Yeah. And then... Selmy says, when he was fighting with Rhaegar, these people believed in him and they fought harder because they were men and they believed. And
so they were both trying to get their spin on it.
Yeah. And then she's like, well, she didn't really give any response.
No, she just kind of takes their advice and she doesn't always say what she's thinking.
Yeah, so she goes in and talks with Cransney and Melisandre.
Seller guy again.
Yeah. And she basically says, I'll buy them all. And he's like,
everything you got.
You can't fucking buy them all. And then he
not even everything they got. They got everything they got. Every guy they got, started to be trained. They want everybody.
She wants everybody. 8,000. That's 8,000 guys.
8,000 warriors plus whoever's in the training
program. Yeah. And he's like, you can only get 108.
Yeah.
Your ship, the Dothraki, the gold, this, that, and the other.
So she offers
offers a dragon. And both guys, Selmy and Mormont, are like, no, don't do it. And then later she's
that guy's mouth is watering.
Yeah, because he's like,
fucking dragon.
Fucking dragon. Oh my god, this is going to be awesome. I can train a dragon to be an Unsullied. Right? I'll cut off his balls.
He agrees to sell everything.
Yeah, he agrees. And they leave, and they're not very happy with.
Selmy and Jorah are pretty
ticked off, and also one other quick thing is she wanted Melisandre,
the little interpreter girl. Yep.
Yeah, as a token, and so she takes her, which she kind of sees like a smartness in her and kind of whatever.
Maybe a little herself.
Yeah. And so, those Mormont and Selmy are kind of talking to her, and she's like, listen, whenever I'm in front of someone, you don't fucking question me. And she just fucking walks away, and she's talking with Melisandre about how they're gonna, how all men must die. And she's like, well, we're not men.
Good,
and then she kind of smiles and keeps walking.
Yeah, that was a booby joke.
Yeah.
Kind of.
So then we head over to Tyrion, who was taking Littlefinger's books. Right? And
Littlefinger kept him in a whorehouse.
Yeah,
obviously, it's where he works.
And he's collecting them, and Tyrion's asking for some advice, and he says, these money is just numbers, and if you can manipulate numbers, you can do whatever the hell you want.
Littlefinger would have fucked up the American banking system, I think.
Yeah, he might have. So Tyrion's like, okay, and so
while we're at the whorehouse,
so
I owe Pod something.
Yeah, Podrick Payne.
His squire. He pretty much saved Tyrion's life in the Battle of Blackwater.
Yes, he did.
So his payback is not 1,
not 2,
but 3 magnificent horse.
Yeah.
Including a girl that could sit her own head.
Yeah, she was awesome. So Bronn's there too, by the way. Let's not forget about Bronn. And Bronn and Tyrion have got some nice little.
By the way, that would be the greatest remake of My Two Dads ever. By the way,
I would watch those 3 guys. I would watch those 3 guys do whatever.
1 day a week. I mean, every day of the week I'd watch them.
Yeah, it would be awesome. So,
they leave Pod to get his freak on,
and Tyrion talks with Bronn about money.
Yep, they're talking about how they're in debt.
How money is, how the whole borrowing thing works. And then Bronn kind of just has a thing. What about if I don't pay you back ever? What about if I don't pay you back ever? And he's like, then I don't loan you money.
That's why I don't loan you
money.
And
they talk about this thing called the Iron Bank of Bravos, which if you read the book or even care, you should probably remember that for later. Put it in the back of your mind. The Iron Bank of Bravos, they owe millions and millions and millions of gold to.
Yeah.
To the Westeros Kingdom owes them a ton of gold, and that might come back to bite them in the ass if Tyrion doesn't fix it or whatever.
Tyrion mentions that if you don't pay them back, they might fund your enemies.
Yeah, and they always get their money, kind of like a Lannister always pays their debts, kind of thing. And then Pod comes back.
And he's got a... I think as Bran notices, he's got a jump in his step.
Yeah, skipping his step. Yeah. And he's got the money that Tyrion gave to pay for the horse.
And they're like,
what the fuck? Yeah.
And he's got the money. Then you get the horse. He's like, I had the horse.
Yeah.
They're like, well, what'd you... Wait. Okay, what'd you tell him? You didn't tell him anything.
Yeah.
What'd you do to him? I did a lot of things to him.
Yeah, and then they're like, well, the horse wouldn't pay... wouldn't not... like take money for their time, and then Tyrion just grabs a couple of goblets and gives it to Bronn and them. And he's like, "We're gonna need details, copious details."
It was a nice humorous moment.
Yeah, I loved it.
I like when they inflect humor into the show.
I know, I loved it. It was like a little. It's like what dudes would do. Like, yes. It's like blatant. Like, dude.
What did you do to whores to make them not want the money?
Yeah, you must have fucked them good.
Well done, Pod Payne.
Nice job.
Well done.
Nice job. So then we head back to Theon, who is frantically running, or not running, but galloping with his horse.
He's on his escape.
And he notices an arrow come flying by him, and he turns around, and holy shit, the guys
chasing him.
The guys that were torturing him are following him, and they're catching up on him, and he's running and running, horse. Great chase. And then it was a great scene because, one of the guys, while the arrows they were shooting at him, one guy just kind of went another way and got in front of him and smashed him with a mace or whatever.
A flail, they call that. So it's like a mace head on top of a chain.
Yeah, and he just smashes his face in.
And he just kind of fucking...
he knocks him off the
because he knocks him, he's on the ground, doing that. When you get the wind knocked out of him.
And then the guy just gets down and, one of the nastiest lines I've heard in the show in a long time, he's like, pull off his pants, I'm gonna fuck him into the dirt. I'm like, holy guys! And then,
so somebody else is in there for a bit of a rape.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, you hear another arrow goes right through the guy's chest. And then everyone just starts getting arrows in the
There's 3 or 4 dudes, and they all end up eating.
And they all end up dying. And then the other guy, the guy who's gonna rape Theon, just turns around, and he looks, and look who's there. Boy.
That boy.
Boy is there. And the guy says, "You bastard!" And an arrow right in the face.
It's quite nice.
Fucking nice. And
so he grabs Theon, and
he grabs Theon, and he's gonna leave.
I guess
and he's like,
finished escaping.
Yeah, he's like, "We're far from home. I'm gonna help you out here." And Theon's like, "Thank God, I was about to get my ass pounded into the ground like that guy said. Thank God you were here. It was
gonna hurt.
Thank God you were here." So then we head back to the final scene of the episode, where Brienne and Jaime are tied up, and the leader guy, his name's Locke. All right, he's the Bolton hunter. All right, his name's Locke. He's played by Noah Taylor, who was also the dad in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory by Tim Burton. Anyways,
different character here.
Way different.
Because he's gonna lead the raping.
Yeah. And so
I don't think Charlie Bucket's dad ever thought about raping anybody.
No, he didn't. Maybe not. I mean, no. Maybe an Oompa Loompa, but they're too tiny. They're too tiny. And they're not that sexy. Like the Charlie Brown.
No. If there was a she-Oompa Loompa, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. But anyway, so they're beating up Brienne, and they're taking her in the back.
They're gonna have their way with her.
They're gonna have their way with her. And Jaime's kind of like.
He kind of does another nice thing.
Yeah, he does a nice. He kind of gives it a moment. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna help her out. And so he kind of tells Locke, the guy, he's like, "Hey, you know what Tarth is, right? Sapphires, those blue gems, And he's like, "Oh, okay." And so he's like,
kind of insinuating, she'd actually get a nice reward.
Yeah, you get a nice reward.
Obviously, tore the fuck up.
Yeah, raped or beaten beyond a shadow.
Yeah. Fucked up. Yeah. As long as he returns not fucked up, you'll probably get a good reward.
So Jaime saves Brienne's virginity,
but something that might be a lie. We don't know. Yeah. I don't know anything about Tarth.
Yeah.
I don't know if they actually have sapphires. Either he thought of a lie real quick, or he used the truth.
Or he remembered
something that helped him Save her ass.
So, you know, Brienne comes back. She's not raped, which was nice. And
that's always nice.
That's always
when you come back from somewhere not raped.
It's always a good thing.
Like, you look back and go, you know, I didn't get raped at that library. That's a good library.
It's a great library. It's one of the best in the state. Anyways, so then Jaime's kind of talking with Locke. He's like, please, can I get out of here? You know, my dad...
Yeah, now he's pushing his luck.
Yeah, my dad would pay a whole bunch. Can I at least stand up? My back's killing me. Can I lay down? Can I get something to eat? And Locke's like, okay, we'll let you go. Sure. And so Locke brings him. He's like, we got a pheasant for you. He's like, oh, I love pheasant.
Partridge.
Partridge. I'm sorry, partridge. Sure. And he's like, oh, I love partridge. So then he's like, my father. And then that was it. Locke's like, boom, that's
Lost it.
Boom! Throws his ass down on this fucking piece of wood, tree stump, and he's just talking to him. He's got the fucking carving knife right
poking into his eyelid,
right into his eye, and he's fucking talking to him. He's like, "Your daddy's little boy. Your daddy'll make everything better. Well, your daddy's not here."
Really fucking with him.
And then, boom! Chops off. Well, wait, boom! Chops off his fucking hand, and that's how the episode ends.
Jaime screaming in his hand.
Jaime screaming, and actually, there's a band playing in the credits. The Bear in the Mountain.
Yeah.
The
Bear and the Maiden.
The Bear and the Maiden, yeah, which is kind of neat. I thought that was really cool. But, yeah, Jaime loses his hand. Now, if you read the book, you knew that was coming.
And if you didn't, good for you.
Yeah, and if you're like, holy shit, Jaime lost his hand. How's he going to be a fighter? What the fuckity? You know what I mean? And,
yeah, he's got one hand now.
Yeah. It should be interesting to see how they do that for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
But Rob, let's talk about our likes and dislikes about this episode.
I loved this episode.
Yeah, this was a great
episode. Was maybe my second favorite episode ever, behind Blackwater, which is obviously the greatest episode. Mm-hmm. But it was just a terrific fucking episode. There was one weird scene, and everything else was fucking spot on awesome.
What was that? What was the weird scene?
The one with Rob's wife.
Oh, yeah.
That was the one weird scene that just didn't make sense.
I don't know why I was there either.
Everything else was really great.
Maybe it was just to show how nice she is still. I don't know.
Yeah.
How much more nice do you need to know she is? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You already know she's really
nice. Westeros. As long as she's not eating puppies, she's actually one of the nice people.
Yeah. I'd have to say that I really like this episode. Yeah. I like the fact that they used two scenes in the show, no words, and were able to convey a lot of shit.
Much. Yes.
Like in the beginning.
A testament to the acting and directing.
Yeah, in the beginning, like Edmure Tully, he can't hit it. You're like, oh, this guy's an idiot. This guy's a fuck up. And then, you know, the whole part with the council pulling the chairs and all that was a good part.
Quality. Two of the best scenes in the episode.
And I liked
and in the series, really.
Yeah. Just really good. Like every episode, I wouldn't say every episode's getting better, but like the actors are really like doing a hell of a job. Really great job. And so new characters, Rob. We only have 3 likes and dislikes. You think? Wait, how are you feeling about the Blackfish and Edmure Tully so far? You think the actors are doing
fine? I want to see more, obviously.
Yeah.
It's hard when they really only have
2 scenes.
The guy who played Edmure had
2 scenes.
Yeah, if he did Blackfish, he's got 3.
Yeah.
Well, it's hard with 3 more, but yeah.
But I like them. I liked Locke. I think he was kind of neat. The character who actually cuts off Jaime's hand is a little different, but I kind of like how they made him an amalgam of various people, which is fine. They do that with the show.
Yeah, you kind of have to when you have this
many
giant scope of cast of characters.
So, Rob, what was your favorite line, favorite kill?
My favorite line, I don't know. Probably when Jorah's talking about war. And he says there's a beast in every man, and it stirs when you put a sword in his hand.
Yeah, great line.
Which is also a little limey, and it's kind of like he should be the first Westerosi poet laureate.
Yeah, he should. You know? He should be a warrior poet laureate. He should be a warrior poet laureate. Because I'm sure there's a bunch of poets out there, but he'd be the warrior one. He'd be like the guy who could kick ass and make a fucking sweet rhyme.
Right.
Mine is also from Jorah Mormont, where he's talking about Rhaegar, and he says Rhaegar fought valiantly, Rhaegar fought bravely, and Rhaegar died. So
because it happens.
Yeah, I mean, you know, no matter how valiant or brave you fight, if you're in a war, most likely you're gonna get killed. And that was actually from the book too. So it was good line by George R. R. Martin. There's a lot of other great lines, from the whorehouse. I'm not even gonna bring up all of them. That whole scene was just amazing. Hopefully you can find it on YouTube or whatever, and just be like,
watch it over and over and over.
Yeah, it's hilarious. But actually, hands down, my favorite line is "Boy" by the Boy. he picks up Theon's hand and he says, "Come, my lord, you're a long way from home, and winter is coming." And you're like, "Oh,
winter's coming." It's something we haven't heard for a little while.
Yeah, so we haven't. So it was nice to hear. And you're like,
and it makes it say that guy sound like he's a northerner.
Yeah, so. It kind of does sound like he's a northerner. So Rob, best kill? There were only a few, obviously. Well, the one main one would be those mysterious fellows who were chasing Theon. And,
I guess.
Arrow through the face, because there was no other kills besides those guys, really.
I guess that would have to be the best kill. Best kill occurred off screen. It's Catelyn's dad. Best kill.
Yeah.
Where old age
killed Holster.
I'm gonna go with that.
Nice. And so differences between book and show. I have that Melisandre never leaves. At least I don't think she does. She never leaves. I don't know if
Feel free to correct us.
Yeah,
I can't remember her taking a long sabbatical from him.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember her leaving.
Unless this is leading to something else that will happen in the book.
Yeah.
That's my posit so far.
Yeah. I hope they're not like she's not leaving the show. Like she's leaving. I hope not, because she's awesome.
That seems silly.
Yeah, but that's really it that I can think of. There's more. There's other ones, but like the guy who cuts off Jaime's hand. His name is Vigo Hearth. He's the goat because he has a lisp and he like stutters a lot. And it's like whatever. Locke's cooler so far. Locke's really cooler because he's like just some guy.
I'm sure he's gonna end up getting traits of not only this character but other characters.
Yeah.
That's what they tend to do when they change things that happen like that.
Yeah. So I could go through. Like with a fucking fine-tooth comb and tell you every little thing, but I'm not gonna.
But I'd rather just jack off. It's fucking stupid.
Yeah. Please, again, don't nitpick the show. The show's great.
Don't watch it. If you think the show should be paid word for word on the screen,
then just read the book.
Because you'll never be satisfied with it.
Yeah, just read the book and then draw pictures of the book from the book.
That's it.
But yeah, so I hope you guys have enjoyed this Game of Thrones review.
I could care less if you didn't.
I'm P.
I'm Rob.
We'll see you in the next Game of Thrones review. Bye-bye.
Have a pleasant tomorrow.